Today, in this video, I'm going to show you how to really tighten up the bow tie settings to get them to be just extra strong. In this, you can see that I'm actually scratching a table with these moonstone that are in here, and the stones really aren't budging hardly at all. But initially, the stones were actually pretty loose in there, and definitely not something that I would want to put out in a finished piece. But good news, there is a really easy way to tighten this up, and this works for all sizes of stones, whether it be round stones or these marquee stones like this, and whatever other shaped stone you can get into the bow tie setting. This is just my way of always tightening up the setting, and I do this just about every time I put this into a piece. I've added this bottom support wire, and this is going to be what we will anchor the top bow tie setting down to. I'm going to use 28 gauge wire to tighten this up. It doesn't have to be this is just my personal choice. And with the bow tie setting, sometimes there are little gaps around the stone. I'll also use this technique for just filling in those gaps, sometimes just to get it to hold stronger, sometimes even if it's not totally anchored down to the supporting wire. So I'm going to do this first part in real time. It's going to be pretty slow. You'll see a lot of the process. But I'm basically just going to be trying to take the bottom of the bow tie setting, the lowest point on it, the part where it goes under the stone, and I want to take that and I want to pull that downwards, because the only way to get the stones out from the bow tie is to push up from that point. So I want to just make sure that I really anchor the lowest point of the bow tie setting down. And if you've watched my other videos, I don't really have a solid method or count that I do everything at, like 3 wraps around this way and then 2 this way or anything. I really just kind of try to tangle my pieces all together. It's pretty wild sometimes, but it really holds strong, I feel like. So I'm going to bring this wire to the back side now, and I'm going to just start to tighten up the stone here before I totally tighten up the front side. Because sometimes you can end up pushing too far back and then the back won't be anchored down. And sometimes when the wire isn't wanting to fit in, I'll try to straighten the tip a little bit and then kind of smash the tip to make it a little bit more flat, so it can start to snake in between the stones and the wire. Really, the behind the scenes of the bow tie to get it this strong is going to be pretty messy underneath. So I'm going to continue to wrap around the bottom of the bow tie settings, moving along from one stone to the next, really supporting it into that anchor wire that I put there before. This whole process actually took over an hour just to tighten this up. So I'm going to speed it up where I can and skip forward in a few spots. But for the most part, hopefully this video really describes how to get the stones in there as tight as possible. And throughout the process, I'm always continually checking the stones and just trying to make sure that they are still working out properly. And just doing little strength tests with it. And sometimes stones actually do pop out in this process. That is totally normal. Actually, the end of this, or the bottom part of this bow tie was a little bit too wide, and so the stone would come out. So in that case, you can try to just push the stone back in and then really do what you can to tighten it up. And by the end of this stone really does end up being very secure. I always have a little piece of wood on hand. In my case, I use 1/2 of a clothespin, but you can use whatever you need to, even plastic or whatever. Just something that won't scratch the stones or metal or anything. And I really use this piece of wood to push on my pieces quite a bit. Push stones back into place and whatnot. And now that I've worked my way up the top side, I'm going to use the other half of the wire and I'm going to work my way down the bottom stones. Also re-securing, double securing some of the stones that I've already secured. Sometimes I feel like I'm just sewing most of my pieces. And the stones are definitely a lot more secure in there. They still wobble ever so slightly. So I'm going to keep going at this until really there's no movement at all. And you can just keep adding wire. As long as the top parts of the bow tie are holding the stone in at the top, you can really tighten this up. So there we have it. I feel like that's pretty good. Now we're going to give it a little test. I like to scratch it on the wood because I can move it in every direction, up, down, left, right, and it'll really just show you if the stone will budge in any way. I'm actually pretty surprised sometimes that the stones themselves don't break from the pressure. And that's about it. I really hope this video helps, and I've really enjoyed seeing everybody's creations and seeing how far the bow tie setting has come. It's been a really exciting journey with you all. Take care and happy creating.